All right, I'm going to do a quick screen recording of how to make these graphs that you need to make in Excel. So first thing, I'll make this a little bigger so you can see it better. First thing, I've entered my data, just like it is on the data sheet that is on the Canvas document. If you have two trials for a specific volume, you want to average those. That's super easy to do. In Excel, all you got to do is type in equals and then start writing the word average, and you'll get that option for averaging. You want to select the two cells or the two values that you're going to average and just hit enter. And then if you want to apply that same average formula to the cells below, all you got to do is grab this little square in the corner, click and drag it down. And now you've averaged all of those time values for the trials that you completed. For this volume remaining, if you have a 50 milliliter burette and you let out 5 milliliters, you will have 45 milliliters remaining. You could do this math in your head and just type those numbers in, or you could let Excel figure it out for you. All you got to do is type in equals, and then we're going to take 50 minus this number and hit enter. And once again, you can click the little box in the corner and drag it down, and there Excel has just done all the volume remaining for you. The next column is ln of volume remaining. That's natural log. Natural log is a mathematical function, so once again we can let Excel figure out for us. So all you got to do is hit equals and then start typing ln, and you should come up with that function, the natural log. And you want to take the natural log of the volume remaining. So I select that value and push enter, and once again you can drag that down so that it does the natural log of all of these volume remainings. And then we're also going to do 1 over the volume remaining. And so once again, push equals, and then just start typing in what you would like it to do. We want to take 1 divided by, and then we got to give it the value to use, volume remaining. Push enter, and apply that same function to all the cells. And now we need to start making some graphs. For the graphs, you're going to simply select the values that you want to graph. You're going to actually make 3 graphs. First graph is just going to be average time versus volume remaining. So I selected those 2 columns. I'm going to insert an XY scatter. And boom, a graph pops up. Now we gotta obviously give our graph a title, and so I'm gonna call this graph volume remaining versus time. And of course we like to label our axes. So to label our axes, if you go up to the top left corner, there's this Add Chart Element button and Axis Titles. Your horizontal axis, or the x-axis, is time, and the vertical axis, or the y-axis, is volume remaining. The other thing that you want to do is you want to add a trend line. We're actually going to come up here back to where it says more chart elements, go to trend line and more trend line options. And we actually want to do more than just add the trend line. We also want to display the equation on the chart and display this r squared value on the chart. So once you've done that, you've made your first of the 3 graphs. We're going to make another graph now for time versus natural log of the volume remaining. When you select these, you're going to select the time first, hold the command button, and then click and select the column for the natural log of volume remaining. And you're going to repeat the same process. You're going to insert an XY scatter, give the chart a title, give the graph a title. Again, label both the X and Y axis. And just like your first graph, we want to come up, add chart element, trend line, more trend line options, and then display both the equation and the R-squared value. And I like to just drag these where I can actually see them. So I got 2 graphs done, and I'm going to make the last graph here as well. Time. Hit the command button so I can select this last column, and then make this graph. And this graph is the 1 over volume remaining versus time. Oops. Label my axes.
Okay.
I'm making it. And add those trend lines with the R-squared value. And that's it. So now you should have 3 graphs. And you can do one of 2 things. You could either print these graphs and tape them into your lab notebook, or you could make some nice detailed sketches of these graphs, making sure to include the equation for the best fit line along with the R-squared value.